On this Halloween night, convicted cash fiends killer Ashley Toye is marking her 24th birthday in prison. And this year, her attorney is hoping to grant her wish of being released early.
Although Toye was convicted of the brutal torture and murder of 2 Cape Coral teens, her attorney hopes a new law will help her walk free.
For In Your Corner investigator Mike Mason speaking exclusively with Toye. He joins us live now to explain what else she had to say.
Yeah, well, earlier this year, Florida Supreme Court ruled that sentencing a minor to life in prison may be deemed unconstitutional. That's why Toye's attorney is fighting to get her released early, even though a judge has already turned down their first request earlier this month. So why should they let you out of prison?
I'm not a menace to society. I'm not a monster like everybody says I am.
Ashley Toye was born on Halloween, a night that celebrates monsters and mayhem. But the night of October 6, 2006, just 3 weeks before Toye turned 18, she became part of something truly evil.
Just give me a moment. I don't want to talk about it.
How did you feel when he handed you that knife and said it was your turn?
I just did it because I felt like I had no choice.
What did you think he would do to you if you didn't do it?
Probably kill me.
Toye's talking about her boyfriend at the time, Kamar Johnston. It was at his Cape Coral home for his 20th birthday party where friends and members of his rap group called the Cash Fiends gathered to celebrate. But things turned deadly when 18-year-old Alexis Sosa and his 14-year-old nephew Jeffrey showed up. The Sosas were known enemies of Johnston. Before the night was over, the Sosas would be tortured and shot to death, their bodies thrown into a car and set on fire.
The only thing I can say is that, I've learned from this. I mean, I wish it never would happen. I wish I would have been strong enough to stop it.
Now, 6 years later, Toye has had plenty of time to reflect on her role in the murders. Although she admits to some of the torture, such as using a knife to carve symbols into the teens' backs, Toye says she had nothing to do with the actual murders.
I take responsibility for what I did. Full responsibility for what I did.
Toye says her relationship with Johnston was abusive, and he manipulated her into doing whatever he wanted.
I would get whipped. I couldn't talk to anybody. He was very controlling. I couldn't talk to my friends. It took coming to prison to get me out of that lock that he had on me.
Toye doesn't feel she deserves to spend the rest of her life behind bars, and Florida's Supreme Court seems to agree. This past June, a ruling determined sentencing a minor to a life in prison may be considered cruel and unusual punishment.
They reasoned that, okay, you can't execute juveniles, but when you have someone sentenced to life in prison, it's a death sentence. You're going to die in prison. What's the difference?
Cape Coral attorney Stuart Pepper recently decided to represent Toye and filed a motion requesting a hearing. He hopes a judge will reduce Toye's sentence so she can be free to raise her 5-year-old son.
What's it like having a son that you don't even know?
It's hard. I think about it every day.
Since going to prison, Toye has gotten her GED, completed various courses, and worked as a personal trainer to her fellow inmates. If released, Toye says she hopes to counsel women who are in abusive relationships.
My hopes are to help teenagers as myself. I've been doing that in here, and it helps me. It helps me to know that I'm not alone in this. If I could just help somebody out with whatever they're going through, whether it's in here or out there, even if they're older women, I've helped older women since I've been here, and it makes me feel so much better.
Even though Toye has helped women in prison, many feel her involvement in the Sosa's murders is unforgivable. She hopes a judge will see things differently.
Do you deserve a second chance?
I feel I do. But saying I'm a murderer and I'm a killer, no, definitely not.
Attorney Stuart Pepper plans to file his appeal this Friday. Since we aired our first report, many viewers have expressed outrage that a judge would even consider letting Toye out of prison. We'll, of course, let you know how it all turns out. In the studio, Mike Mason, Fox 4, in your corner.
All right, thank you, Mike. We want to know what you think about this story. Do you think that Ashley Toye should be released from prison early, or should she serve the rest of her life sentence? Let us know when you go to fox4now.com, click on that Viewer's Voice tab, or you can call us 206-FOX4.